I would like to introduce ourselves. We are from University Utara Malaysia, which is UUM located at Sinto Kedah, and we are media students. And as for me, this is my final year, and the rest people, for me and Pika, we are the seniors, and the rest of them are our juniors. Okay, ma'am. So can we start the
Okay, sure. My name is Kokila. I'm a lawyer by profession and currently engaged in Kumar Chambers in Selangor, Kelana Jaya. And I'm just recently been elected as the Selangor Bar Chairman on February 24th. So, yes. So this I see is your project. Sorry?
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks. All right. Anyway, congratulations all of y'all for doing this project. It's not easy to do this, but I'd like to see how y'all are going to try to put this together and make it as your project paper, because I don't really know how y'all are going to do it. But we'll see how it goes along the way.
Yeah. So as
ask any questions and make it as informal as possible, because it'll be easier. Because at the end of the day, always remember, when you talk about a project or law paper, it must reach out to public. That's how you should do it. It's never about how much law you put in, but it's always how much outreach you put in. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Shubha, can you start a question?
Yes, very sure. First of all, good evening, madam, and thank you for accepting our call. So my first question will be, in your opinion, what is Computer Crime Act is all about?
Okay, my opinion, computer crimes, which is by the Act, by virtue of the Akta Jenayah Komputer 1997, which is the Computer Crimes 1997, is purely for a computer based where you can store information, where you can have access to program, a device that only can store this kind of things. Many people get confused in that sense that, so can handphones or typewriters or anything to do with social, any electronic gadgets, would it come under this act? The answer is no. All right. It will only be a computer or a laptop now, or a tab where you can store information, where you can have access to manipulate or to modify or alter any information in storage in the digital and electronic means.
Madam, thank you so much.
Do you want me to talk more, or you okay? I think that's. I'm trying to modify. I'm trying to summarize it because I want to keep it simple. As for what I think will constitute a computer crime, would be when you use this authorized access that you have, and you try to, like under part 2, if you look at section 3 onwards, under the Computer Crime Act 1997, it will be an offense if you use the computer to perform any function to secure access to any other program that you do not have authority or do not have access to. Do you understand? It simply means that you now work for someone, or you have now used or trying to hack into someone's computer to get information that you shouldn't be having access to, or even let's look at simple examples. If you take somebody's try to hack into somebody's credit card or bank accounts, okay, that are the main offenses in Malaysia at the moment. If you look at it, last year it was reported by KD and KK that the biggest crime Malaysia has lost, computer crime has become the 9th top offenses in Malaysia, and we have lost about 8 billion or 5 billion of money just by computer crimes. That means what they do is they take access of your credit card or anything and manipulate it through computer means. It could be anyone hacking into a bank. It could be hacking into a bank system. It could be hacking into your personal account system. It could be anywhere where they take your information without your permission, without your consent, and use it without authority. That would be a computer crime. Offenses under Section 3 of unauthorized access to computer materials. It could also be, many of it look at it material value, where there's money involved monetarily, but it could also mean like any information. It could be your data, like your personal information. It could be your anything that you've stored in your computer. Someone trying to hack into your system, even trying to hack into your Facebook, will come under computer crime. Are you all following me? Semua clear?
Yeah.
Semua faham program or a data or a particular kind that you tak ada access, you tak boleh guna. That means something that you do not have access to. You see, that's why like even Zoom, kalau you nak masuk, you need access in order to get into the system, because if not, you're committing a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is, you must remember that this is purely for crimes when you take people's information without consent or without authority. Then it's an offense. It could be monetary in nature, it could be just information in nature, it doesn't matter. So you cannot go and tell people that, I did not take anybody's money, so I do not come under Computer Crimes Act 1997. So that would be, that argument will not be in court.
I'm going to ask next question.
Okay.
What is the punishment imposed of offender who commit offence under this act?
Alright. So Pika, if you look at it, like offences ni banyak, because it could be if you obstruct the police officer when he's conducting investigation, you try to stop him from taking your laptop or getting into the thing that he said he has committed offense. So that will be a different offense. But it all comes under computer crimes. Okay, that means obstructing police officers, that will come under obstruction of search under section 11. Okay, so you kena tengok apa offences dia. Okay, because the whole act talks about the various offences. That means offences yang jenis-jenis offences yang you boleh commit dalam Computer Crime Act. Okay, so it could be when you pergi manipulate program yang dah sedia ada, atau okay, just say now you all are students, so you all become very good in IT. I'm not. Okay, so you all pergi try to hack the exam modulation. Okay, you know that okay, the UUM punya ada dalam this system, so you try to hack it to get the exam question. Alright, that is under computer crime as well. So you kena tengok which one will you go under. So you, kalau kata polis ni ada suspect that there's a reasonable suspicion that you have been committing computer crime, comes to your house, you pergi kata tak ada keluar dari rumah I, you cannot come and search, or powers of search, seizure and arrest, semua you cuba elak lah. Kalau you cuba elak, ia akan menjadi satu offense di computer crime juga. Okay, that will be under section 11. You ask me what is the offense atau sentencing yang boleh dibagi. Kalau tak silap saya, it would be under section 5, betul. Okay. Bila you cuba modify atau ambil access of any content dalam komputer, tengok section 5 Computer Crime Act 1997, where it says a person guilty of an offence sub 5 sub 4. Okay, it says a person guilty of an offence under this section shall on conviction be liable to a fine not exceeding 100,000 ringgit or to imprisonment of term not exceeding 7 years or both. Okay, or be liable to a fine not exceeding 150,000 ringgit or to imprisonment of term of 10 years or both if the act is done with the intention of causing injury as defined in the penal code. Okay, macam ni. Why? There's two. Okay, there's one which says 100,000 ringgit, 100,000 ringgit bersama 7 tahun penjara to get, or you can have it together. Tetapi they also have another one which says 100 penjara tu kalau dia tengok you ada try to also fall under offences kat penal code. You faham? That means just say when you were doing the act, you have also committed a penal code action. That means kata you ambil somebody's thing and then you hentam dia ke, atau you did an act of of under the penal code. That means bukan computer crime saja, you have also done something more that dalam penal code pun you boleh disabit bersalah. Are you all clear?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're not clear, just ask me again, I'll explain again. That means what are the sentencing under Computer Crimes Act? It will be 100,000 fine or 7 years or both. Okay, but now if you also further commit, katalah, just say now I am taking Shan's computer, Sapika walks into the room, I saw Sapika masuk bilik and Sapika Shan pushed whose computer is it? Wait, it was Shan's computer. Sapika was using Shan's computer. Okay, so Shan walks into the room, kata, apa you buat ni? And then what do you call this? So Sapika pushes Shan away. Shan falls down and injures himself. That is an offence under penal code. Betul? Akta what do you call this? Akta keseksaan. Akta kanun keseksaan. Okay, penal code. So you will be, what would be the sentence be? Would it be the 100,000 and 7 years in prison, atau 150,000 and 10,000 and 10 years in prison?
Is it the second?
Sorry?
Is it the second option?
Yes, because there is 2 offences that has been committed. One under your Computer Crime Act 1997, another one which is the under the penal code. Sapika has injured Shan. Clear?
Clear.
Faham tak? So to Nur Sapika, that's my answer. What are the offence that you can? What are the sentencing that you get under this act? Would be found in Section 5 of the Computer Crimes Act 1997.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
For Section 5 sub 4.
Ma'am, the next question.
Sure.
Sorry.
Hi, madam. I would like to ask, what's the relevance of the act being realized?
Okay, good question, Tamare. I think in today's situation, I think the computer crime the act needs to be amended because it's not clear and it's very confined to a lot of things. You can easily get out of it because in today's electronic means, I think programming or access of data or hacking cannot just be done through, it's not confined to just computers. It can be done in many other ways. Do you all agree? I'm sure a lot of you all know how to do programming and maybe using your phone, for instance. See, this act specifically says in section 1. Section 2. Okay, Section 2 of the Computer Crimes Act defines apa the context, apa itu computer. Okay, computer, you read and then it says interconnected or related devices, but does not include. Okay, I'm looking at line number 4. Okay, Section 2 sub 1 does not include an automated typewriter or typesetter or a portable handheld calculator or any other similar device. Bila you kata portable handheld calculator, we are talking about calculator, correct? But portable handheld, would that also not mean your handphone? Kan? A portable handheld, that means it could be a phone, correct? Yes? It's portable, hand, held. So that means, but would you not agree that today I could actually hack to people's, or erase, hack, alter, modify, manipulate any contents of electronic information through my phone? Boleh ke tak?
Boleh.
Boleh. So that's why every day you can see artis all semua akan kata, oh, my phone is hacked, my Instagram is hacked, my Instagram handle is hacked, my Facebook account is hacked, macam-macam, so it can't be that everybody is sitting in a computer and hacking, kan? Because sometimes I just want to hack through a phone, correct? Yeah. So, Tamare, back to you. I think in the relevance, I believe and I agree with the meeting has. Sorry, what? Okay, all right, cool. So I agree that on November last year, 16 November 2020, the president of MCCA, Siraj Jalil, President Persatuan Pengguna Cyber Malaysia, he said that, look, I think the acts need to be amended in order to curb this jenayah cyber. Okay, that means the act tak cukup atau tak mungkin tak begitu relevant in today's time. That means it's a 1997 act, betul. Tapi masa tu, like even today when pelajar dari rumah and using this jarak jauh, so that in 1997 no such thing, no such thing, kan? So you need to amend. Like I've always believed in Lord Denning's judgment. One of his judgment, he quoted this. Lord Denning said, "Do you all read Lord Denning's judgment?" No. Okay, Lord Denning is a judge. I think he went to House of Lords in the UK. And if you have time, read his judgments. Fantastic judgments. His judgments were always, he likes to do reverse engineering. That means he decides what he wants, and then he tailor makes his judgment based on his decision. All right. But what he said until today, I still his quote that I still use from his judgment is, never look at a 2021 situation with a 1952 glasses. Okay, it could be any year, all right, because they're not relevant anymore. You cannot now say, like, look, Bankruptcy Act, Companies Act, they're all changing because masa tu 10,000 or 30,000 is a lot of money. Okay, today you can just use your credit card and commit a 30,000 default, and that's it. You can be a bankrupt at the age of 30 or the age of 20, 25 lah, not 20. So there was more orang muda yang mungkin jadi bankrupt with the act that was not amended. But kita nasib baik because Bankruptcy Act pun dah dipinda, Companies Act pun dah dipinda in 2016. Bankruptcy Act was amended in 2017. So I think this act needs to be amended. It's a dire need to be amended because the statistics show that it's number 9. That means top 10 offences in Malaysia. Kerugian yang dialami is also on the high side. I believe it's on the I think, how much is it? Lebih, wait, I thought I saw it somewhere. I think it was about, like I mentioned just now, it was about 5 billion or 5 or 8 billion. I'll come back to that. I can't find where I found it just now. Tetapi penipuan ni, especially masa pandemic, you duduk kat rumah, you have these computers. So it almost raised last year 83% dia naik jenayah cyber because people at home, people don't have money. It's so much easier to do business online or to do fraud online atau just melakukan jenayah. You have time, you decide to just ambil orang punya information, masuk hack, try to do things, So it naik, peningkatan dia agak drastik lah tahun lalu, to 83%. It was mostly case penipuan, okay, penyalahgunaan, and also kebocoran maklumat peribadi dan dokumen rahsia. Alright, so these are the things that was heavily problematic in this act, and how when this act comes to court, whether it becomes relevant. If you look at the cases that has been registered, Tamare, you will see most of them will say no. tidak bersalah. You know, when you first go to court and say when you're being charged, they'll ask you mengaku atau tidak mengaku. They'll always say tidak mengaku, minta bicara. Okay, so that means they're all confident that the act you boleh keluar daripada kesalahan tu sebab act tu tidak kukuh. So it need to be amended and we need to engage. Macam mana nak amend? Kita kena cakap dengan syarikat perbankan, agensi kerajaan, the stakeholders, the interested stakeholders, the police, the education people, students, to see how this actually, how would we do this so that it's a very good act. I would think, of course, our computer systems also must be upgraded. Upgraded meaning that means our investigation punya system or softwares must be so good that you know who is committing an offense, when, where, and how. Some countries have moved forward. They know when you commit a cyber crime or computer crime, you know exactly how it's done. Tetapi mungkin kita tidak mempunyai software or maybe we just need to upgrade a bit more. Menaik tarafkan kita punya sistem yang sedia ada so that we could actually banteras this jenayah cyber.
Hi
Shafika.
Okay, my question will be that what are the government bodies that have been empowered to implement these laws and ensure proper enforcement is in place?
Okay, it would be computer crimes would come under it depends where, because computer crime dia macam tiada batas. Okay, it could go, you can be in Malaysia but you could be committing an offense in US. Alright, so it depends on the nature and where the offense was committed. That means whether you're trying to take money laundering daripada US ke, atau whether you're doing it locally or you're doing it using ATM card. It really depends to know which bodies will be empowered to be responsible for the investigation. Alright, but what I can tell you offhand would be if it involves, oh, there's another one. So what, do I stop this and go into that or what?
Have 2 minutes more.
Okay. All right. What I can tell you that we will be empowered to do will be, I think, the Interpol, all right, which is the D12 in Malaysia, and Organised Crime Division, which is the D14, all right, of Bukit Aman, okay, and Special Branch, depending on what kind of nature of it. Because there was one case last year, September. It was involving a Perak. It was involving 2 men in Perak. But then the offense was committed in the US. The US had to come in and they had to say, look, surrender these 2 guys. We want to take them in because we want to investigate and we suspect that they have committed a a computer crime. So of course there was also other laws because it's an international computer crime. So they had to do an extradition act. Extradition act is basically, that means kalau I am a Malaysian, just say Shafika, you are from the US, I have to first give you an order to extradite me to you, So the extradition act also comes in place. That's why I said I cannot give you who exactly is the person because it all depends on the nature of the offense. Yeah, but roughly I can tell you these are the groups that's involved because investigation needs to be done by Bukit Aman because it's not an easy thing for you to just alter people punya contents because I can't do it. It's quite high tech lah. This kind of crimes are quite high tech. So the Perak one, I think it was a computer analyst arrested and a businessman, two of them. So they were doing computer crime, trying to make personal data and then try to bring in money laundering juga, so which both are offenses. So they were suspected of being involved in money laundering and cyber crime of that country. That means that country means US, all right? Of course, the laws there or the cyber crime, how the cyber crime there is, I'm not very sure because the laws of US and Malaysia is very different. The laws of UK and Malaysia and India, similar because we kind of use most of the acts peri materia sometimes. because we're all Commonwealth countries. Tetapi US is a bit different, so their laws, they might have a different set of laws. So it's best I do not comment who will be in charge there. But so what happened was the Kuala Lumpur Magistrate Court there issued warrant of arrest to extradite these two suspects. Okay, they were, during that period, they were remanded in Sungai Buloh prison. All right, and what they did was they were selling, they were doing illegal business by selling gaming artifacts such as kit and credit. Okay, I am not so sure how you do the selling, but I think what they do is, these are illegal businesses where you just start selling stuff lah. Maybe they how they had got it, I don't know, but could be something that they got from dark web. And dark web is an illegal website. So they could have gone in dark web, purchased this, or then started selling it, like gaming artifacts, which is illegal in this country, and probably also in the US. Okay, Shafiqah?
Okay.
You need to know more?
For now, I think I understand what you're saying.
So the forensic team will first come in, and then they will seize all the evidence, and then you will, of course, the first thing they will do is probably come and see and do a search of the property, because that's the first thing you need to do. You need to pick up your laptop, you need to pick up your computer, evidence materials that's connected. Okay, then they will seize all the forensic team will come in and seize evidence and all the relevance at the site. That means at the particular company from wherever you have been doing this business, because that's where they believe that evidence will be found the most. Clear? The police will first come in. The first would be, my opinion, the people that's in charge of conducting the investigation, or people who are empowered to conduct this investigation.
Okay.
Alright. Okay.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, I have a question. Okay. As you said that you are not very familiar with this act, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered any cases relating to this computer crime?
I think what do you call this? I've encountered cyber crimes, but personally, for a computer crime, I have not encountered. I have not personally done, but I have seen in court, and that's why from my observation, I noticed people do not want to plead guilty, even though the evidence can be glaring, because they always feel that the act is a bit on the loose side. Boleh keluar lah, boleh, it's not so. Maybe so when they see the lawyer. But most of the cases that I read on computer crimes, most of the what do you call this, the suspect, orang kena tuduh, the OKTs are not represented. So I don't know whether they are having a foresight, or they don't know whether this constitutes to an offense. I'm not so sure about it, but I believe if the act is amended, because then to include what exactly this is and how, and create awareness on this act, then I think there will be more people. We will be able to curb this Computer Crimes Act as soon as possible.
So, do you, in your view, right? Do you think our Malaysian public, Malaysians are more aware now towards this computer crime or this existing problem? Are they more aware now compared to those days, let's say 2 to 3 years back? Is the case?
Definitely. I think the social media itself, the awareness of any electronic means, I think has put all of us into at least awareness, into a better awareness from what we were in few years ago, and whether we understand the what constitutes to an offense under this act. I think the awareness still can be furthered and enhanced, but I think what we are aware that taking and hacking and all that is an offense, but how much and to what extent, I think that is still lacking, very much lacking. Because we feel like, oh, it's every day we hear, computer hacked, this hacked, Instagram handle hacked. But how many people are actually going to report it? See, some people report it because when it involves money. But do people really do? Okay, let's take for us, for instance. I think that day I had my Instagram handle was almost getting hacked or something. And they said there's some Mac iOS X trying to get into your thing from Shah Alam. All I did was literally, decide to, leave it, because you don't know. Do you want to go? Do people, the victims, do we actually go and report? I think that's another reason also. But looking at how 83% increase in statistics shows that people are very much aware, because I always believed in one thing. When there's a hike, that means the awareness level is also high.
So, ma'am, who are the relevant parties who in conjunction with this act? Who are, as you say, it's police, lawyers, the judge, and who else?
Okay, I mean, like police will be, I think it will be under like Jabatan Siasatan Jenayah Cyber di bawah under the PDRM. All right, they will be the main people who's looking into this, which will be under Bukit Aman because it's an investigative body. As for lawyers, I don't know. We play a role of maybe not so much lawyers, but I think the Attorney General, because they have the right to prosecute when a police report is made. All right. So the AGC will come in. Once they prosecute, the DPP will take on the case, and of course the court to decide the severity of whether there was an offence committed or not. I think this would be the bodies. Of course, all of us, I think the best of us also should be responsible, because I almost had a computer crime, I think about 2 months back, when it's committed by my staff for transferring, money, out to her personal account. We need to be, we take this very lightly. This passwords, your tag numbers, we feel that, it's okay, we can always reset. So I think we are all responsible. It starts with us. If we take all this seriously, it took me some time. It took me some time to realize that this was an important issue for me, because when it happened to my office, and then I realized, oh dear, But the first thing is, I didn't go under computer crime as well. I went and made a police report for theft. So, see, that's why people are not going towards Computer Crime Act. People rather look at the second part of it, the theft part, which comes under penal code. Because we feel like, what can this do? But what actually I should have done is I should have gone under this act and the theft act. So she would have fall under the 150,000 and the 10 years imprisonment. You guys understand? Because that's why we need to amend this, so people might choose, if it's because mine involved money, so I went and did that. But if it didn't involve money, then I would not even be using this act, correct?
So people fear of losing money. So when it doesn't involve money, and if it's normal data and all,
they take it a bit lightly.
Much, ma'am. And the next question will be by Suba.
Yes.
Okay.
So the next question will be, offence under this act only applies to the Malaysian citizens, or even though foreigners also apply the same act also?
It applies criminal offences. Always remember, it doesn't go under whether you are a foreigner or whether you are Malaysian. Offences under this is a criminal offence, and therefore anybody committing this offence in Malaysia, whether you're Malaysian or foreigner, even if you're Malaysian and committing this offence abroad, even that particular country can step in. So it will be persecuted as under Malaysian laws if it's done in Malaysia. The Perak case I told you was because I think the act or the offense was committed in the US. That's why they were saying that can you arrest him and then export him to extradite him to the US.
Okay, ma'am. So this situation, right? In this
Sorry?
case,
You're
So in-
breaking, Shan.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
So in this case, which you explained about the Perak guy who committed crime in the US. Okay,
The two
so
of them. Yeah.
at that time, after the crime is made from here, connecting to US data, or they were at US committing the crime and then come back to Malaysia.
No. They were committing the crime in Malaysia, but you must always remember with computer crime, the act of offense will be depending on which bank transfer or what money laundering, which account they were taking from which place. See, you could be seated here, but you could be doing money laundering in the Cayman Islands, for example. So it could be anywhere. Therefore, they will see where the act of offense was committed. That means they will say like this amount of money was transferred to this account. This account is in the US. So because of that, they will then also want to investigate in the US and also either bring him there, depending on where this case was, where that offense was committed. Always remember, it's always that one is not just for computer crimes. It can be any crime. It's always where the act of offense was committed. That's why if you notice, they will always say, dia ni orang KL, tapi kenapa dia ni kena tangkap kat JB, bawa JB court, because he must have done the act in maybe JB, for instance. Do you guys follow?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what he was selling that, he was selling the two kits, the gaming artifacts, right? He might have transferred some money to the US people, or he might have done it in a US website, So that's but using Malaysian IP address, but then he could have been committing it with a US website. So with the US address there. I don't know, because the case was not clear on what actually happened and what was the IP address used. But I know that he was asked by the US authorities to extradite him back to the US for investigation.
All right, ma'am. So okay. This happened, right? Let's say Malaysians. Let's say a Malaysian, he went to Indonesia. So he's at Indonesia, and he's hacking Malaysian banking system. Let's say Bank Negara. All right. So and also he's hacking Indonesian's bank. Okay. So it's committing one crime at two places, Indonesia and Malaysia. So how will he get punished? He will be punished under Malaysian Act and also Indonesian's Act, or Malaysian government will punish him together for Indonesians according to Indonesian's law.
Okay, it all depends on who, when he was committing the offense, who picked it up. Like, that means there must be every offense, when you kena tangkap, they will see which offense you kena tangkap, correct? So it all depends on whether Indonesian wants to try him in the Indonesian courts, or he will say, look, I'm a Malaysian, I want to be tried in my Malaysian courts. So when that happens, he will be brought to Malaysian courts. Okay, and he will be with Malaysian laws, but they will of course also see whether the Indonesian wants to have a claim on this court proceedings that the Malaysian courts have started. Or usually they will bring him back. Most Malaysians will say, look, I want to be tried in my own country. But there were many instances that the respective foreign country did not allow it. They said, no, you committed this offense here at that point, therefore we are trying you in this court. You can ask your Malaysian embassy to come and watch the proceeding, but that's it. Like, for example, I think you all know, the recent case also, the one that in Perak, there was involving Indonesian maid. So the Indonesian embassy watches the trial in Malaysia because the offense was apparently committed by Malaysian. So most of the time, my take or what I see in courts are, most of the time, if you're Malaysian, you will say that you want to come back and be tried in Malaysian courts.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you. Shubha, do you have anything to ask?
There is also another one in Sabah, since we are always talking about the Perak case, which got this US. So you were talking about local. We'll talk a local aspect. There was a case, where he was using, capaian tanpa kuasa dengan melakukan salah menyalahgunakan harta dengan curang. Alright, in the bank, I think he was trying to use ATM machine, and he had, the reason why he was put under the 150,000 and 10 years imprisonment, that was the charge, was because why? Can anyone want to try this? Let's try a quiz. Why not the 7 years? Why not the 7 years, but why the 10 years? This guy was Malaysian, and he was, this happened in Sabah, Kota Kinabalu.
Okay. So he made a crime at Sabah, and he's Malaysian.
Yes. Because I what do you call this? It's why that 10 years is because, and not the 7 years, is because he went there and he literally tried to manipulate use somebody else's credit card. Okay, so now, is it a computer crime only?
No, it
Sorry?
I don't think so. It's only computer crime.
That's why.
It's also.
So it's also, yeah, Shan, go on.
No, nothing.
No, finish. At least I'll be happy that you all have learned something,
No, since he got somebody else's credit card, right? I just thought how he can get the credit card. He either must commit any stealing or robbing, some kind of thing, and then only he can use the credit card. So first we must identify whether he has made that crime, and then second it will be under computer crime. Is it?
Yes, because he has also taken. It wasn't him playing with his own computer, but he took somebody's card and Bank Simpanan Nasional. All right, he went in a Karamun's thing. He went and tried, so he must have stole it. So that's why the under the Computer Crimes Act, they did not charge him for the 7 years. They went for the maximum because he was also doing a penal code offense. Clear?
All right.
Yeah. See, you guys got it. So it's quite simple. I mean, at the end of I think you all are all now experts in this act. It took me some reading as well, but yeah, So I think that's how you all should always look at it. I mean, yes, it's an act that I think what I would like to conclude is it's an act that is needed, but also I mean, a few suggestions have always been put in for this particular act. I think will be where, they said for the consumer aspect keselamatan pengguna, for the consumer's safety rights. Like I told you all just now, right? We always must remember, like even me, when I told you all I had a staff problem trying to take my money away from, So this act needs to also focus on us. What can we do? What should we do? And because the act, if you look at it, it's just very, very surface. Surface meaning like, okay, you do this and then this is the situation. Tak boleh modify, tak boleh alter, tak boleh erase contents, that, this. Tapi apa yang betul-betul tak boleh buat, apa yang kita boleh buat, tidak begitu, tidak dihuraikan dengan secara teliti. So because of that, I think the Act would probably need to focus a bit more on aspect keselamatan pengguna. See, if it's so easy for people to just hack into our computers, it can't be, right? So that means we must make sure why this is happening. That means if he hacks this way, this is the punishment. If he does this way, this is the punishment. If he takes money, this is the punishment. Dia kena clear sikit lah daripada just 7 tahun, 10 tahun. Okay, siap. We need to be a bit more specific, and more maybe it can be looked at as helping out the aspect yang keselamatan pengguna tu.
Okay. Ma'am, actually we have sections what we should cover. So I think we have almost covered all.
Yeah, I think I've covered everything. I saw your questions. I think from the 5-6 questions, I think I was 7 questions just now. I think I have covered everything because I've taken some of the questions. I've taken it as 2. I've went on. But is there anything else you all would like me to talk about still?
I think we understood well. We understood about the session and about the Act, and and few scenarios which you explained made us understand better. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us. And I'm so sorry I've texted and called you all the time.
Okay, okay. It's just that it was a bit busy week that time when you called, and I apologize, but I think it should be okay. I hope this session was beneficial. We learned something, and I hope you all have today at least learned what the Computer Crime Act 1997 is about. Wish you all the very best, and I will be happy to see you all one day. I'm still in practice then, and it would be nice to catch up with all of you all over a cup of coffee. And Syafiqah, I wish you all salam Ramadan, selamat menunaikan ibadah puasa. Alright, to Sean, Tamri, and have a great puasa month. Maybe we wish you all the best. I hope you benefited the session. I will take leave now.
Thank you so much.
The Computer Crimes Act 1997 outlines several forms of offences that can be convicted based on the provisions of this Act. The elements that constitute a condition for conviction correspond to the nature of computer crime itself. With such action, can solve the problem of computer or cybercrime to a certain extent, since its provisions are indeed formulated specifically to solve the problem of computer crime. Then problems such as the application of those elements hard to found in the penal code against computer crime does not arise again. According to Mrs. Kokila, a lawyer that we interviewed, the Act needs to be amended as the cyber usage rate in our country is the 9th highest in the world, and the rate of increase of more than 1 million new users each year invites an increase in cybercrime. That's following technological change. The rising rate of cybercrime has caused the country to suffer a loss of 5 million ringgit. In my opinion, this Act needs to be amended to be a more effective law in tackling the problem of cybercrime. In addition, the Act needs to be amended as it is no longer relevant to the current situation that is heading towards the digital era, which involves more visual interaction.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syafiqah binti Sharif. My major number is 273967. My group are doing the Computer Crime Act 1997. For your information, the Computer Crime Act 1997, or which we call Akta Jenayah Komputer 1997, is a Malaysian law which was enacted to provide offences relating to the misuse of computer. Okay, in my opinion, I think that this act should be introduced more widely to everyone, because there are not many of them that familiar with this act or even know about the existence of this act. So for me, nowadays this act should be more widely known, because we are in the technology era and there are a lot of crime happening in it. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Crimes Act 1997. This act is to provide for offences relating the misuse of computers. The Computer Crimes Act 1997 effective as one of the main act in 2000, 1st of June. This act is mainly to create offences relating the misuse of computers. This is mainly amongst it deals with unauthorized access to the computer and unauthorized access to the computer materials and unauthorized access to the computer's contents. And basically this act is to facilitate the investigated of unauthorized access to the computers as well.
Hi guys, my name is Tamari Ganesan. My metric number is 270023. In my opinion, Computer Crime Act is really important because nowadays it deals with broad ranges of computer crime offenders as well as by using a computer. Nearly most of the computer crimes are conducted online, and also the internet provides a degree of anonymity offenders as well as by potential access to personal, business and government data. Many computer crimes as well as by stealing money or valuable information, although financial gain is not always the objective. But in fact, most of the computer crimes include hacking, cybercrime, cyberbullying, online stalking, piracy, sex crimes, and so on. So this is why the Computer Crime Act exists, to ensure people feel secure and confident with their information. And also, Computer Crime Act must not be seen as a law which regulates the behavior of people who used to do business all over the internet, and also must be seen as how government should put the efforts to place the soft infrastructure to nurture MSC and the knowledge-based economy. At the same time, the government should be aware of technology innovation, and cleverness of human brains will mean that the law as well and the enforcement must not only keep with computer crimes and ensure that officers must be step forward with the cyber crimes to catch them if they are doing any perform their illegal activities. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Shan, metric number 267697. So my view on this act, Computer Crime 1997, is it is an act to provide for offense that relating to misuse of computers or cyber network. It is an act which relates with any crimes happen with computer usage. Thank you.
Crimes Act 1997. This act is to provide for offences relating the misuse of computers. The Computer Crimes Act 1997 effective as one of the main act in 2000, 1st of June. This act is mainly to create offences relating the misuse of computers. This is mainly amongst it deals with unauthorized access to the computer and unauthorized access to the computer materials and unauthorized access to the computer's contents. And basically this act is to facilitate the investigation of unauthorized access to the computers as well. The Computer Crime Act, there are several advantages of this act in Malaysia. This act gives protection against the misuse of computers and computer criminal activities such as unauthorized use of computer programs, like illegal transmission of data or messages over computers and hacking or cracking of computer systems and networks. By implementing this act in Malaysia, users can protect their rights as well as the privacy and build trust in the computer system. At the same time, the government can have control under a certain level of cyberspace to reduce cybercrime. At the same time, there are many disadvantages could happen if this crime act is not implemented in Malaysia. For example, it can increase the violation of privacy. At the same time, it also can increase the flow of fake news in the social medias as well as other streams.